Cold calling openers that pair with email follow-ups. Why cold calling openers matter more when email follow-ups do the heavy lifting. Cold calling still works in 2025, but only when it's designed to hand off smoothly to email. Multi-channel outreach that combines phone, email, and social can drive up to 287% higher engagement than single-channel efforts, and as much as 70% of cold email replies can come from follow-ups, not the first send. That's the real shift. The cold call isn't a standalone close for a meeting moment anymore. It's a fast context builder that earns permission for the next touch, sets a thread the prospect can recognize later, and makes your follow-up email feel expected instead of random. If you treat phone and email as separate lanes, you're forcing your SDRs to restart the conversation every time. If you treat them like one coordinated system, your opener becomes the start of a sequence that compounds across touches. Exactly what a modern outbound sales agency or sales development agency is built to execute. The numbers behind call plus email and why single-channel outreach breaks down. The brutal math is why pairing matters. Many teams see cold call connect rates in the single digits, often around 3 to 10%. Overall dial-to-meeting rates hovering around 2 to 3%, and a huge portion of calls landing in voicemail, commonly cited at 80%. Email has a similar ceiling when it's treated as a one-and-done blast. Baseline B2B reply rates are commonly in the low single digits, often 3 to 5%, and the follow-ups are where results show up. One reason a cold email agency that's serious about performance obsesses over sequencing and timing, not just templates. The punchline is that buyers rarely convert on the first touch anyway. Across B2B, it's widely cited that prospects may need 6 to 8 touch points before taking meaningful action. So your opener should be built to connect the dots for the next touch instead of trying to win the deal in 30 seconds. The opener framework that naturally plugs into your email sequence. Great openers are short, contextual, and low pressure. In practice, that means you lead with a permission-based pattern interrupt. Did I catch you at a bad time if I take 20 seconds? Immediately add context, a trigger, a role-based reason, or a reference to your email, and then move to a tiny next step that's easy to say yes to. The most consistent performers use interest-oriented language rather than calendar-first language. Instead of, "Can we book 30 minutes next week?" you're aiming for, "Would it be a bad idea if I sent a 2-minute breakdown?" Because it reduces threat and keeps the prospect in control while still moving the conversation forward. From a systems standpoint, the call is also your narrative anchor for the follow-up email. If your opener includes a crisp problem statement and a specific asset you'll send, your email can mirror the exact phrasing, so the prospect experiences one coherent conversation across channels, which is the backbone of effective sales outsourcing and outsourced sales team execution. Cold calling openers that pair cleanly with follow-up emails, with built-in handoffs. To make this operational, your SDRs need multiple openers based on context. They saw the email, they didn't, we left a voicemail, we met at an event, and this is the last touch. The goal isn't to sound clever, it's to create continuity so each email feels like the next line in the same conversation. When we build outbound for clients at SalesHive, we treat each opener like a connector piece. If the opener promises an asset, the next email delivers it. If the opener references a trigger, the email reinforces it with a tight before-after story. If the opener gets a soft "not now," the email politely gives 2 paths forward. Ignore it or tell us when to resurface. Use the patterns below as plug-and-play options for your team, a cold calling agency partner, or any SDR agency that's running multi-touch cadences. Each one is designed so your follow-up email can reference the call verbatim, which dramatically improves recognition and reply behavior. The best cold call openers don't try to win the meeting. They win the next touch. And the follow-up wins the meeting. Cadences that feel human. How to sequence calls, voicemails, and emails without spamming. A strong cadence isn't more volume. It's smarter continuity across the 6 to 8 touches most buyers need. In a typical 2-week window, you want your calls to create brief moments of context, and your emails to carry the detail, proof, and links the prospect can forward internally. Practically, that means your same-day email should always reference the call attempt. Tried you just now, here's the quick summary. Or, thanks for the 60 seconds, here's what I mentioned. When you do this consistently, even telemarketing adjacent skepticism drops, because your outreach reads like a professional thread instead of a generic pitch. It also helps to time calls around when emails land. If your email goes out in the morning, a call later that day can lift recognition. And research commonly cited in the sales community suggests adding phone into an email-heavy motion can increase overall response by up to 30%. The key is that the call and email must reference each other. Otherwise, you lose the compounding effect. Common mistakes that kill opener performance, and how to fix them fast. The most common mistake is treating the opener like a mini pitch deck. If your first 15 seconds are features, credentials, and product names, you'll trigger resistance, especially when connect rates are already tight. Fix it by leading with permission, then one sentence of context, then a single problem outcome statement. The second mistake is forcing a calendar ask too early. With dial-to-meeting outcomes often around 2 to 3% for many SDR teams, you don't beat the math by pushing harder. You beat it by earning a micro-commitment that makes the follow-up email inevitable. The "would it be a bad idea if" and "worth sending over" language works because it's interest-based and low friction. The third mistake is sending a follow-up email that doesn't match what happened on the call. If the email doesn't reference the voicemail, doesn't use the same phrasing, or doesn't deliver what you promised, you lose trust instantly. Fix this by templating your follow-ups to mirror each opener pattern, then training cold callers to select the matching email step as part of your cold calling services playbook. How to coach and optimize openers like a growth experiment, not a script debate. If you want consistent lift, treat openers as testable inputs. In your CRM, log which opener category was used, which email template followed, and what happened next. Connect, conversation, reply, meeting. When you can tie language to outcomes, you stop arguing about style and start improving the system. We recommend measuring opener performance at 3 layers: connect to conversation, conversation to next step, permission to send, referral to right owner, or direct meeting, and next step to meeting, often driven by follow-up replies. This is where multi-touch execution beats gut feel, and where an outbound sales agency, B2B sales agency, or SDR agency's partner can bring repeatable benchmarking across campaigns. Don't ignore list quality and segmentation either. Even the best opener won't rescue a mismatched audience. So pair opener testing with tight targeting, strong B2B list building services, and clear ICP rules. When those inputs are solid, small wording changes can materially improve performance without increasing daily volume. Next steps: building this in-house versus partnering with a team that already runs it at scale. Coordinating cold call services with email follow-ups is simple to describe and hard to sustain. You need consistent dialing, clean data, deliverability-safe sending, tight QA, and ongoing iteration, plus the management time to keep reps aligned. If your team is already stretched, the "we'll just build a better script" approach usually stalls before it compounds. This is the gap we built SalesHive to fill. Since 2016, we've booked 100,000 plus B2B meetings for 1,500 plus clients by combining cold calling, cold email, SDR outsourcing, and industrial-strength list-building services into one integrated outbound engine. Our US-based and Philippines-based SDR teams run proven frameworks, and our email motion uses AI-powered personalization, EMOD, so the follow-up message matches the call context at scale. Whether you hire SDRs internally, build an outsourced sales team, or work with a cold calling company, the play is the same. Design openers that explicitly tee up the next email step. Then measure results by connect to meeting and reply rate, not activity. If you want a faster path, we can help you pilot a multi-channel motion month to month with a system that's already been pressure tested across hundreds of B2B orgs.